Hi there, Robin here from Expert On. Today is a very exciting day because today we get to talk about the Alto TS3 subwoofer series. We've got the 18-inch S on this side and the 15-inch here. But today's videos, we're going to start with the TS318s subwoofer, and we're going to have it with all the 8-inch, 10-inch, 12-inch, and 15-inch drivers placed on top, showing you how they actually sound. We're also going to go through all the details about the box, cover, the driver, the amp plate in the back, plus the new DSP options, which are unique to this product. So that's all in today's video. So if you haven't subscribed, now's always a good time. Hit that subscribe button. And if you're looking for any more details or links about this whole product line, look down below. We'll have it all packaged up for you, make it as easy as possible. But for now, we're going to talk about the subwoofer. Incredibly exciting. So let's pull it up. Let's get a little closer to it and see what's going on. So here we are, 87 pounds of absolute bass performance. I can't really say it any other way. I mean, this is going to satisfy everybody's wants and needs under, $800 or $1,000, depending on what you're looking at, solely for the fact that they actually set themselves a goal, and that was to have a subwoofer within a year that would meet the challenges of what they put out when they came out with the TS3 series. The TS2 is really nice. I mean, they designed a box that was really nice to look at, really well to hold in all the sound, and it was just a good product. It definitely doubled down on what they had previously on the original TRUESONICs, and then they said, well, let's do better. And they kind of raced out with the 3 series. They had it in the plans because, I mean, there's no way you just pop out with that kind of a product. So there you go. That's where the original TS3 product line came from. Now they went straight up to 1,000. They completely changed the way the industry looked at upgrading and making things a little bit better and giving you here and there. They went huge. They jumped it up 50% for power. Then they turn around and it took them a whole 12 months to add the subwoofer to the line. Now, there could be a lot of reasons for that. Me personally, I thought they kind of launched the TS3 series, the tops, early compared to a standard rollout. And then they came out with the sub. It took them a whole year. But they really met the challenge when it came to making the sub. You would think it's easy. Put on a bigger amp on the back, put a better driver in the front, and voila, you have a new subwoofer. Well, there's a lot more to it than that. You have to contain all that energy, and the lower the frequencies go, like in a subwoofer, that's going to become even more challenging. So they did redesign the entire product. Now, they wanted to keep the concept, the design of the tops with the subs to still, hold true to the look. So it has that tapered look to the front. So it's a matching set. It's proper. It's good. You can't take a 218 subcover and throw it on top of a 318. That's not going to work because the box is slightly bigger. For that extra bass to actually do its job, the box is slightly wider in the back so it can contain more volume space inside, because they did upgrade the driver in the front, and of course they upgraded the amp plate in the back. The cover remained the same. It may be thicker in gauge, hard to tell, but they kept the dampening pad behind it, and that dampening pad's physically attached to the grill cover, and that's to make sure we don't get any vibrations or any transfer of sound to distortion in this actual cover. So you're not going to hear any of that looseness. You're not going to hear that humming sound that you would get out of a grill that didn't have any protection to it to stop that from happening. So that's incorporated in here. Also, the fit and finish. The grill, just like the previous one, is also tucked in tight into the side, not to distort and shape or move around. It's fastened properly, and of course the logo lights right above, blue light indicator for you to have on. Now, they did change the material finish of the actual product, so you've got an MDF box now, which basically holds its shape so it doesn't get pressure distortion, and it doesn't transfer noise from inside the box or any loose artificial sounds through the actual box that you don't want to have. So that's why they went to an MDF. It allows them to control and have much more density and compactness inside the actual material. Remember, these are all offset joints and all that kind of stuff. This is solid. This is not going to go anywhere. and it only added a couple of pounds to the overall product, and literally a couple of pounds is what I think it is. Now from there, they have this textured finish. Now this is you see this a lot in heavy commercial grade transport products. It's this textured pink finish. It's basically it's properly soaked into the MDF, so this way it creates a water resistant barrier on the outside. So if somebody quickly pours something on it, because I know I had messages and comments on the actual preview of the products, that was some concerns. Dents and damages, I mean, eventually these things are going to get dented, and maybe, I don't know, if you hit it hard enough, maybe you're going to do something to it. It's not going to, you know, break it or anything, because, I mean, the corners are all doubled down. Everything is reinforced. So maybe you scuffed it. You know, me in my world, I would just use a magic marker, but if you really wanted to get technical, you can buy a rubber dip paint and touch that up, and it's going to give you a watertight seal again. So that's all about the box. Now, it is a lot thicker than it was, like I said, and it had to change the handles. So the handles are now routed in. And instead of having the metal handles that were bolted on, this is permanent. This is part of the actual structure of the box. You cannot yank a handle off of this thing. Doesn't matter if you pick it up with one hand, and trust me, I've had customers buy brand new subs, and while loading it in their car, they're holding them sideways with one hand. And I mean, it's like, dude, it's your sub, you just bought it. Like, don't break it, you know, but, you know, people do that. So they made this durable, and you can grip it from both the top and the bottom if you need be, right? So you've got good, solid secureness. Now, remember, this is probably 1.25 inches thick. I mean, literally, I get my hand in here, and just my fingers come around the edge, so that makes a very, very solid handle. Still metal pipe fittings. Actually, I think it's a cast aluminum for your pipe on top, so, and it's good, nice, tight fit. So that's what's going on there. Now, we spin it around, we're going to get to the business end, under the hood, we can say. So here we are. This is the backside. This is what's under the hood. This is where all the power comes from. Now, I know it doesn't look like very much. It's just basically 4 jacks, a knob, and a couple of buttons. But this DSP, that's where it's at, right there. Now, this DSP is going to allow this speaker to actively control all their tops, regardless of the size, because it's not just one size fits all. You've got an 8, a 10, a 12, and a 15, all 4 sizes that this subwoofer has to handle. Now remember, if you have 2 tops, let's say you had 2 8s or 2 10s, you still bring both channels in, and then you bring one out to one 10-inch, one out to the other 10-inch. That's what's going to go on here. So you're going to come here first with your controller or mixer, and then you're going to come out of here and go out to your actual speakers. But again, back to this. Remember, they're powered speakers, active crossover. You have built-in DSP contouring. You've got all kinds of important things happening in their speaker. That allows them to program that into these settings. So this is a very, you know, this is all done digitally. It's a computer inside, just makes the choices. Somebody decided what the best fit was based on what they already had going on in their tops. So that makes this very unique and very important. Now, some companies put features like this in their actual tops, but then you're paying for it. So if you weren't getting a subwoofer, you're paying for extra features on the top that you don't need, where in this case, you're getting the subwoofer. So the idea is you probably already have some tops. So that's really, really a big plus. Now, they're going to assume that there are people out there who are going to buy this sub for other speakers because it's a really good sub as a standalone. So they do give you a high pass and a bypass option. So that's all built into this DSP. And like I said, I can't talk enough about this. This is super, super important about what makes this sub unique and performance-wise, maximizing how much output power you're going to get, not just out of the subwoofer, but out of the tops as well. So just like most subs, you do have a polarity reverse capability to convert the speaker. So that's what this button's all about here. Then you have extended bass. Try not to be too much over unity, like so over 0 dB when using that actual bass boost option on it there. They call it extended left low frequency system. So, I mean, that's really, you're at low volumes, but you still want to have at extra bass. So that's going to just drive more bass into it, so this way it just gives a better response at low end volume. So that's really what's happening there. So that's also good if you're doing a wedding and you're playing like 80s and 90s music pre-subwoofer, let's say. So that just helps get you that extra punch out of it where the punch wouldn't exist in the first place. So that's what's going on there. So remember, 1000 watts continuous power. This is going to line up with the top, not short at all for power. Definitely tight, tight, tight. No loose fluttering, nothing like that's coming out of this box right here. So let's take it from here. Let's go off to the actual demos, but that's the important part, how it sounds. We're going to do our best to get it as close to the room as possible. And to be honest, it hasn't worked out, and I've done it about 8 times. So remember, a showroom is always the best place to listen to an actual subwoofer or any tops. So we're going to do our best, and this part of the video to basically let you see how they sound, how the DSP works. What we're really talking about is how much active sound is going to get transferred from the tops, these guys here, to the bottom. Now, my impression is, it just kind of like makes sense, the smaller the driver package is, the DSP is probably more active between the bottom to top as the volume goes up. So we should see that happen with the actual subwoofer, where it may take over more of the bass of the actual driver as the volume gets cranked up. So that's a big possibility there. I've already done these all through, and I can tell you from trial that consistency is amazing. When you're down into these guys here or across up to here, at unity on the volume level scale, at 12 o'clock on all knobs, it's pretty impressive on how well they all seem to maintain the same consistency in sound when it comes to the highs, mids, and lows, and of course the bass. So I hope you enjoy the second half of this video, because that's what it's all about. And here we are, demo time. We're going to go through all 4 tops with the actual TS318 subwoofer. We're not going to change the level controls on either the sub or on the top. We're going to keep them always fixed. The only thing that's going to change is the DSP setting on the subwoofer. We're always going to make sure it matches the top. And what we're probably going to be listening to are changes on how much extra is going to be pulled out of here. So we're actually going to have more bass than we normally would have if this was just left alone. So I'm expecting a bigger draw off of the DSP settings for the 308 and the 310, and less with the 312, and even less with the 315. So that's going to be the big comparison that we're going to go for here. We're only going to play about 3 songs. We do have a microphone set up on the floor this time, and we also have a microphone set up off to the side, just to balance off how much bass we're getting from the actual recording. So that's what's going to happen next. We're going to start with the 308, like I said, 3 tracks, and we're going to move on, and we're going to get this ball rolling. All right, so we now have the TS310 on top, and I'm going to go on the back of the DSP and switch it from the 308 to the 310. We're all set there. Now we're ready to try this guy out.
Running for days.
All right, so here we are. We've got the TS312. So we're starting to get pretty big here. We're moving up. Again, remember, this is all set at 12 o'clock. No extras added to what's going on. I'm going to change the DSP now from the 310 to the 312. So now this sub is balancing everything off based upon it knowing that this speaker is here. Let's get our next 3 songs in. All right, here we are. We're up to the 15-inch. We got the TS315 on top, running it straight at 12 o'clock, which is basically 50% overall power. Same thing going on in the subwoofer. Now, this is amazing here at this point. We're going to come back here. We're going to put that DSP to the setting of the TS315. Now, I had no problem with this thing at 50% hitting 100 dB 6 feet away. So, I mean, that would be a lot more if I got closer, but I mean, I want to try and balance it out everywhere. That's at half. So I think we can actually get this thing up to 120 as a set at a reasonable distance. That's pretty impressive. For the price package that you're looking at there and the overall reliability and the build quality, not to mention the sound quality that goes with it. So let's take a listen to this. We're all set and ready to go. Let's have a listen to 3 songs. All right, so there you go. You've heard the 4 speakers. We've got them all set up. Now we're going to do one last thing, and that's just to show you how loud we can actually get it. Now, this is going to be done only at half volume when it comes to the actual speakers itself. Why? Because we're going to get to 100 dBs, and I'm going to show you how it actually works. I've got the camera here. We've got the dB meter in my hand. We're going to play the track. We're going to have a pop-up window happen up next, so this way you can actually monitor it. And like I said, we're going to get close to unity on the mixer, maybe even below that. There's only so much I can tolerate with this. So we're going to do it. This is basically 4 feet away, so a meter plus. Okay? All right.
Concentration.
right, so here we are. We're all done. Let's wrap it up. We've got ourselves the TS315 on top, the 308, then another 310, then the 312, and the 318s subwoofer. And don't forget, our next video on the Alto line is going to be on the actual TS315 sub, which we also have. We just haven't gotten to that video yet, so that's going to be the next one coming up for this line of product. So how did it go? I think it went great. We get tons of power. Everybody was looking for this to match this up on top. Well, I think they did that and then some by actually making sure that the box matched the actual performance of the driver and the amp plate in the back. As price points go, you can't really beat it. People are going to try. People are going to work on it. The best thing about this is when you get good product, it changes the industry a little bit when it comes to performance at a price point. So this is definitely the set of speakers that are going to start to do that. Good for Alto for doing this. It's taken them a few years to get the actual recipe and to get to a place where they can actually have a great performing package at an incredible price. And that's going to be the most important thing, is they really changed what you can get at this price point. So again, we'll see you on the next video. Thanks for watching. If you got questions or comments, leave them down below, and I'll see what we can do for getting back to you. Hopefully, once we start our live chat, that's when it's all start to happen. See you next time. Bye for now.